7 potential candidates for Trump's vice president spot have been revealed, and today I'm going to rank them by how much I would want them to actually be the vice president. Let's get into it. Welcome to Talks, everybody. I'm your host, Kenneth Glenn, and today we're going to be talking about the potential vice presidents that Trump has. So there's like 7 or so potential vice presidents for Trump. I'm going to rank them by not only how good they would be as a vice president, but how likely they're able to get Trump elected. Because it's very important. If you pick the wrong vice president, you're likely to not get elected because of that choice. So let's get into the ranking here. At the bottom of our list is Christy Greiner. She's an alright politician. She's pretty good. She's really good with her state, South Dakota. She had the most amount of votes in South Dakota history. She fixed a lot of problems. She had a huge approval rating. She's really good with money, she's actually a perfect candidate to put with Trump because of how good she is with money, along with Trump, how good he is with money. That would be an amazing president. So when she was in office in South Dakota, she passed she passed an act, and that act ended up averaging out to families getting like $2,400 more a month, which is just absolutely insane. And she's obviously really good with money, and she's pro-life, obviously, pro-gun, and things like that. But the problem with her being the vice president is she shot her dog, and that's not a good look. Not only would this be political suicide for Donald Trump to pick her, but she's already off the trial. Like she's no longer even a pick for Trump. That's how bad her reputation is that she. But however, now it sucks that she can't be the vice president, but I heard the ATF is hiring, and your resume, you would be a good fit for the ATF. Moving on to the number 6 spot of our list, it is Sarah Sanders. Now, she's not a bad politician by any means, and just because she ranks low on the list does not mean she's a bad politician. But the reason why Sarah Sanders is so low is that she just didn't do much. Her resume is not as impressive as the other people on this list. Trust me, we got some heavy hitters on this list. She raised some pay for teachers, which is great, and she lowered taxes, which, I mean, let's be real, every Republican in history has lowered taxes of some sort, and, she's all right. I mean, like I said, nothing too impressive, nothing that really, screams for her to be vice president. She has a lot of good spots in government, just not vice president. Vice president is something that's just way too high for her. At number 5 on this list, we got Doug Burgum. Now, he is a very good pick as well. He did really well in North Dakota. He had a great approval rating. He fixed a lot of issues. He helps his state recover from addiction issues and infrastructure issues, education issues, tax issues. He diversified the economy in that state. And, he has a really good resume, but my only issue, and if he were to run with Trump, he would probably win North Dakota for sure. Trump would easily win that because everyone liked Doug in North Dakota. The only problem with Doug is that, I'm going to be honest with you, this is going to sound terrible, but he's white. And with our current culture, we like diversity. We prioritize diversity with our politics. If you don't have a person of color, or if you don't have a woman running with you, or you don't do this, or you don't have a gay guy on your cabinet, you're not going to get voted in. And that's just a sad truth of our thing. I think it's stupid personally, but I think if Trump really wants to win this election, he's got to go the diversity route, which is kind of sad, and that just shows our state of our country. And it further proves my beliefs on voter suppression and standard IQ test and just testing in general to see your general knowledge of politics, and if you don't pass the test, you shouldn't be able to vote. That's just my opinion, though. Just let me know down below what you think about that. And coming at number 4 on my list is Elise Stefanik. She is a Wow, I butchered that. Coming at number 4 on my list is Elise Stefanik. Now, she is a New York representative. She has a lot of great values. She's very popular. I think she's one of the highest ranking female representatives we have in the House. She's pro-gun, tax cuts, she's lowered prescription medication costs, she's pro-immigrant, or she's against illegal immigration, which is great. And, you know, she's a good fit. Plus, like I said earlier, the diversity thing, she's a female, so that could probably get Trump, that could help Trump get elected, get in office. She's great. She'd be a great partner for Trump. My only thing is, like I've mentioned before, she is not one of the heavy hitters on this list. She's good. She has a great resume, but this list is, like I said before, filled with some heavy hitters. We got some heavy hitters on this list. And she just kind of falls behind, especially the people in the top 3. The top 3 are just, like, I wish all 3 of them could be the vice president, honestly. But, no, but... yeah, she's a great politician, great choice. I mean, I just don't think she could definitely help Trump get elected. I just don't think she's the best pick out of all of them. She's a great pick, just not the best pick. Coming in at number 3 on my list, this is probably gonna be a hot take. I got Ben Carson. Ben Carson is only number 3. He's great. He's pro-life. He's smart. He's a doctor. He's a Christian, which is personally I like that. My problem is that he doesn't have a political resume that lives up to being a vice president. He's a good pick. I like him. I think he can really help Trump get elected too, because he's super famous. Everyone knows Ben Carson. At least everyone's at least heard of Ben Carson. If you don't know Ben Carson, you've at least heard of him. If I say the name Ben Carson, you're like, yeah, I've heard that name before. He's a great pick. He's an awesome pick, and he's also just. He's strong in his beliefs. He believes he stood by Trump too. He'll have Trump's back. He stood by Trump during January 6th too. He defended Trump during January 6th while everyone was turning their backs on him. And he stood there. So he's definitely a good teammate to have. But like I said, he's just politically, he's not as well versed as the top 2 spots, which are just amazing politicians coming up. Also, Ben Carson. Although Ben Carson thinks that Andrew Jackson shouldn't be replaced off the $20 bill, and as an Andrew Jackson fan, that's based. So yeah, Ben Carson gets number 3. Not a bad spot. Not a bad spot. Personally, I think this is what he's going to go for. I think Trump's going to go for Ben Carson, but I don't think he's the best pick, but he's a great pick. And number 2, I have Tim Scott. Tim Scott is the number 2 spot on my list. And personally, I think he might be the best. Tim Scott's probably the best pick if Trump wants to get elected and have a decent politician on his side, because Tim Scott is, like I mentioned earlier in this video, diversity. He's African American, which I hate that I have to say that, but that's just our nature of our times. But besides that, he's just a really good politician, and he's critical of the police. So that might also grab some voters' attention. He's very critical of the police. He passed a lot of police legislation. He's pro-gun, pro-life. He's super successful. He's a hard worker. He's no nonsense. He's not about taking vacations, and so he just works. He's a hard worker. He passes tons of laws, and he's a great pick. And he's critical, like I said before, he's critical of the police, which might bring voters over to the Republican Party, seeing that's like, oh, this guy actually passed police reform laws and stuff like that. So it might bring more attention to the Republican Party, might bring more voters over. I mean, we already got people coming over. We have like the opposite of the 2020 election happening this year, where a lot of the Democrats are like, I'm voting for Trump this year because he's not Biden. Remember 2020, when everyone's like, I'm voting Biden because he's not Trump? It's reversed this year. People are trying to switch over back to Trump, which is great to see. And if it wasn't for the number 1 spot just being overpowered and just being just so good at his job, he would be the number 1 pick. At the number 1 spot on my list, I got Marco Rubio. He is just the perfect pick for Trump's vice president. He is just the best pick out of all the picks. I mean, the only pick, in my opinion, that could be better than him is like Vivek Ramaswamy, but he wasn't part of that pool, so he's not on the list. Literally everything good that you would possibly want, Mark Rubio has done, and he's about manufacturing things here, which Trump is also about that. And you know, Marco Rubio working alongside Donald Trump would just be probably the best duo out there when it comes to just president and vice president. It's probably the best since like Eisenhower and Nixon. You know what I mean? Or maybe like Reagan and Bush. Like we're talking, this is going to be a great duo going forward here. If Trump picks him, and that is why he is the number one pick on my list of potential vice president picks. Give me your thoughts down below. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please leave comments, subscribe for more, and show me your ranking down below. Tell me what you guys think. Anyways, I'm going to head out. See you guys later.